We just saw Incredibles 2. That was the... You'll need to buy the soundtrack now. We nailed it. This movie's awesome. I fucking love this movie.
The trailers really weren't doing
The trailers
anything
looked like shit. I'm sorry. And
fucking Brad Bird, though, man. Like, I just came out of this like, damn it, that was really good.
We wanted to see a sequel for years, like everyone did. And I was excited because, it's like 14 years later, so I'm like, well, that'd be cool. They'll grow them up.
The kids are going to be in college or out of college, and Jack was going to be 10.
That was a huge turnoff. So I went to this movie still like, okay, let's give it a chance, let's see. And I like it more than the first, honestly. I get a feeling it's going to be an unpopular opinion. I think most people are going to like the first more, but here's what I like. I'll just say right off the bat what I like real fast is that even though I liked the first film, I did have some issues with it. And the biggest issue is that I felt it didn't focus enough on the family. I thought it focused too much on him, Mr. Incredible, and his midlife crisis, which is fine. But you get
definitely not a problem with this.
No,
film.
but my thought is that even though I like the first film, I'm like, it's a super family. Let's see the super family. And this one really does. There is so much of the entire family and the dynamic.
I thought you saw the super family in the first one, but
you had the table scene and they had the climax, and the rest is him, and it's one of those things where it's like this one, everyone feels so equally distributed, like everyone has like a fair amount of screen time, and they're all
I will
interesting.
Say everybody really plays a part.
Yeah, everybody works off each other. Even the damn baby, who I didn't really give a shit about in the first film, I mean, has some of the funniest scenes in this.
There is a battle between Jack and a raccoon.
It's amazing.
It is the most epic as fuck thing I have seen all year. It puts Infinity War to shame. I was like, that was the most epic battle I've ever seen. This damn baby versus a raccoon.
Okay, well now we're gonna build this up way too much.
No. I don't care. That was amazing. And the animation on that raccoon was so great because the raccoon's just guarding a chicken wing or something, and when the baby takes it out, I swear early on, you could just read the look on this raccoon's face, and the thought bubble above the raccoon says, this is happening? Is this really happening? Because the raccoon gets his ass kicked, gets a couple punches.
But he puts up a good fight.
Yeah, and the raccoon's just has this look what? Is this can't be right. It just, oh my God, it was brilliantly animated.
I mean, we're laughing our asses off at this. The expressions in general in this film are just so good. And probably the height is that raccoon, because the raccoon never says a thing. Yeah, but you just know what it's thinking.
Well, the baby doesn't say anything either. That's the beauty of it.
Great expressions.
It's all expressions, and it's some of the best. It's Tom and Jerry levels of classic slapstick.
Yeah,
I haven't seen it. God, I haven't seen anything like it, in a long time, that good.
It's making me laugh.
By the end of it, I'm just that poor raccoon. It's just I feel so sorry for this thing.
So was I know. This poor thing is just trying to survive.
This raccoon ends up stuck in a chair, trapped within the chair, and the baby's on fire, and the raccoon's oh shit. It's this poor raccoon's really
and it just keeps going.
God.
It just keeps going. I do feel bad because we're probably building it up too much, but it is really funny.
Oh, I don't care. That is what top-notch animation is.
There's one scene that, in my opinion, is a little funnier. This was the X-Men in Deadpool scene where I had to really control myself to stop laughing. Again, I won't give it away, but it's when they go to a restaurant and it's a reaction of somebody seeing somebody else, and it's it's really getting me.
No, that was really funny too. It was no Jack versus Raccoon.
No, it's this. Both movies have funny scenes. This one's just funnier too. Everything seems upped except for one thing, which sadly is a problem with a lot of Disney films, and it's not. It's not a huge problem, but it's still a problem. That is the villain again, and we'll kind of go more in spoiler corner talking about that. But it's the same thing where it's like
very obvious. Villain is obvious.
Yeah,
but at the end, like when they discover, like the villain's like, "Wow, you're good. You figured it out." I'm like, "Really?" Because we all figured it out from about the first second this character showed up.
You know, it's so funny because Disney films have gone from their strength being, the visuals, which they still got down, and the villains. That used to be why you go to see Disney films, to see these great villains. And it's switched where now the heroes are a lot better, which is good. That's what you want. But the villains have just sucked hard for a while. And it's because they always had to say them as a surprise. Like, haha, it was this person. That really sucks, and it's tiring.
The motivation
and the motivation was stupid.
No sense.
And what's so funny?
Like, 0 sense. Like the motivation for the villain in the first film, I'm like, that was great.
No, okay. Here's the thing, and the motivation in the first film is pathetic and ridiculous, but it matches the character.
Yeah, it totally
and we've
works,
seen people like that. We've seen fans like that, and you go on the internet, you see people like this all the time, and it's one of those things where it's like it matches. You get it, and it's part of the fun too. It's part of the joke. This one is trying to go more serious, and it just it's like
the first film. It was a commentary on like creepy fanboy culture when it becomes not just like a fan, but like the unhealthy obsessive.
It was kind of ahead of its time. The more I think about it, like
it was
like the
proto-internet
super fanboy thing. Yeah,
but but this villain just really wasn't anything there.
No, it's because they're saving it as a surprise. I was thinking that for the climax, too. The only part, and like I said, by no means bad, but I was thinking, like, I remember the first Incredibles film, like, the first 2/3, I'm like, this is good, but then the last third is great. The climax is wonderful. And this one, it's really switched, where the first 2/3 are just absolutely wonderful, and then we get to the climax, it's good, but it's nothing like the first one. I really like
the climax. I just didn't think the villain reveal was...
But remember in the first one where it's like, we gotta stop that thing, we gotta take that down, and there was a real us versus them thing, where with this one, you get a little bit in the jet, but for the most part, it's just trying to stop this boat. It's like Iron Man and Captain America fixing the ship in Avengers. It's like, well... okay, I guess that's neat, but it's like, this is the climax, man, come on.
I don't know, I thought the climax was fine.
But I think it's still good. But I wanted that, especially for an Incredible sequel, I really wanted like that, let's go stop him, let's defeat this person.
Well, this is what's rough about it.
I didn't get it as much, because the villain was so weak.
Because, like, and when you say things like, well, I like this one better, it's hard to judge, because, like, and this has happened multiple times with Brad Bird films, like, Iron Giant came out, and I was like, oh, that's a good movie. Incredibles came out, I'm like, oh, that's a good movie. It's not until years later, and I don't think I'm the only one, because I feel like internet culture picked up on this, but it's not until years later that they get this kind of reputation of like this is the Fantastic Four movie, we should have gotten, this movie's amazing. Like, I think Honest Trailers just did something recently, it's like, you don't have a soul if you don't like this movie, where it's like, these are masterpieces. And I never thought that at the time when they first came out. I thought they were good. The funny thing is, I don't disagree with that assessment now, but I feel like this is another one where it's like, I might be too close to even rank it, because like his films just get stuck in your head. They're a slow burn, and you're just like, at first it's like, oh yeah, that was good. It's only years later that you're just like, wow, that wasn't just good, that was great. Like Iron Giant, I was like, oh, that was good, and now I'm just like, that film's a masterpiece.
Brad Bird's projects really thrive, I think, when it does come to like sort of the connections between like relationships between people, particularly in families. He started off with The Simpsons, so it's no big shock, but I mean, it's something where it's like the family element, I think, is where he's just the strongest, and I think that's why I like this one the most. Because you really do, there is just so much of that connection. You see them working off each other, and it's funny, and it's touching, and it's, exciting too with all the action. I mean, they really balance things out very well. But the one thing with a lot of Brad Bird films, even though I'm with you, they stay with you, they go in your mind, I always feel like they need one more rewrite. Like, there's always some things that are a little clunky about them, where I'm like, well, this would be a masterpiece if they just fix like 2 or 3 little things.
I can't think of a single thing I would fix in Iron Giant.
There's a couple scenes where it's just suddenly like,
wow.
No.
I can hear. I can just hear the internet already.
But okay,
those keyboards are like, it's like engines on. Like,
answer me this. After, not really spoilers, but I mean, after they see, like, they disguise him. and like the government goes away, and then they're just suddenly playing in the junkyard. It's like, where did that guy? And then the guy kind of turns against him. He's a gun. It's like, but you just, we're disguising this guy, and like you were with him, and now you're against him. Like it's a total switch.
He's gonna blow up the.
No, but he was talking like he always knew, and I found out why, because it's a deleted scene. Where he actually sees on the TV. But that's a problem.
But it was there then, if it's a deleted scene.
But it's not in the original movie. That's what I'm saying.
Okay,
it's
but
like
did Brad Bird do that, or did the studio do that?
Oh, I don't know, but but it's still the movie. It still has like a couple tweaks that it needs. But that's what
I don't think that even
that's what I was getting.
Barely counts.
No, I never saw
that is even, not like it needs a rewrite because of one scene that was cut.
No. I mean, there's other scenes like that where it just.
I didn't have a problem with Ratatouille.
Okay, but Ratatouille too. Remember, like when he meets up with the family, and it's just like, oh hi, and they just kind of talk again, and it's not even like a big thing. We were saying like, shouldn't they have had a little bit more of like a big connection there, like this big stuff. It's like, hey, how you doing? Hey, try this food. It's like you haven't seen this guy in a long time.
That's already a long movie, and you want to make it longer?
No, but that's what I'm saying. That there's little elements like that sometimes that keep it from being like masterpieces to me. But there's scenes.
I feel like if there was one, maybe I would go with The Incredibles. Like maybe there's a couple things you could tweak. There wasn't much in Iron Giant or Ratatouille I would have tweaked.
I mean,
there's not a whole lot I would tweak in The Incredibles either, and this film, there's a couple things I would tweak, mostly the villain. But the family dynamic, like, there's just such character. I really felt for everyone.
Everyone, yeah. It is totally identifiable.
Every single character.
Even the damn baby. I identify with the baby.
I hate babies, yeah. Take that, internet. That's going to be like in big quotes somewhere. Rob hates babies. And I just, in film, I'm just like, because I always feel it's like one step away from Baby's Day Out or something.
Yeah, whenever we see a baby in a movie, it's like, oh no. Yeah.
I was worried that was going to happen in Incredibles 1, and it never really did. So I felt like, well, I feel like they're going to know what to do, but... Yeah, no, God, and the action scenes, that's the big difference. Like, I don't like whether or not this was worth the 14-year wait. I don't know, but I will say when it comes to the animation, holy crap.
Yeah,
they were expressive in the first one. They're way more expressive in this one. The animation is gorgeous. The colors pop. It's just, I think one of the first things in this was her hair. Like Elastigirl's hair, just because now they've got they've had like Brave, with Meridia, and then Monsters Inc. with the hair and that. Like it's like, it sounds strange, but hair technology when it comes to CGI is now light years vastly improved from the original. So it's like they frazzle up her hair when she's riding the bike, and the wind's in it, and it.
Well, here's the other thing too, because Disney has Marvel. I mean, they've had tons of experience with CGI. Superheroes attacking each other, so they can get even more creative.
Honestly, I thought the CGI in this film was better than in some things like, Black Panther or something.
Yeah, no, because they don't have to make it look realistic. They can just be imaginative. They just have to make it look good. This looks good. And you're right, the colors especially
I love this
vibrant.
Kind of universe where it's like, they always say Batman the Animated Series is like, Gotham City was what would happen if, like, the 1930s and late 20s, like, if Art Deco never died, and then this movie, it's like, what happened if the 1960s never died?
Yeah.
This is a future built entirely on the 60s.
No, it was one of those things where it's like, it was almost to a fault, because in the first film, they definitely had that style, but, like, people still looked like kind of modern-day people, where this one, it's like, there's so many fedora hats and so many like 40s style dresses, and
it's got like a Hitchcock
and even like the TV studio, it's like it's cool, but it was something where I was like, when you suddenly see like they whip out this computer screen that's like an iPhone, it's just like, oh yeah, this is supposed to be now. So but I'm with you. It's just it should engulf it. It should really like totally embrace it, and it does.
Now, so speaking of 14 years to make. Do you want to talk about the intro where it got all weird with them, like... I can't tell. Do you think that was just for the... Because we saw this in IMAX. Do you think that was just for the IMAX, or are all screenings...
Probably for the IMAX.
Oh, maybe, because we got this...
No, because a lot... They did this for Star Wars, too. They want to have something extra before...
To make it worth it for IMAX.
Which is weird, because
But it just ended up annoying me, because it's like... So it's like... No, John, they don't want John Lasseter, I think, in anything right now. It was Brad Bird, like, thank you for the wait and this and that, and the next thing you know, it's like Craig T. Nelson, like, these things take time.
Samuel Jackson, I know you've been waiting forever.
Yeah, and then Holly Hunter just like, so we thank you for your patience.
We get it. We get it.
You really want to see this movie? And like Samuel Jackson comes back, it's like, so sit your motherfucking ass down and enjoy The Incredibles 2 and stop complaining about how long it took. And then Craig T. Nelson's like, yeah, because I had to read a bunch of lines and we know you really want to see it. I get it. You want to see it. So why don't we just show you the movie?
We took a while.
We took a while. So let's show you how we made it with like, here's some scenes of computer animators doing things. Ain't that cool? Don't you want to see this movie? You've waited 14 years and I'm just sitting here like, yes, I want to see the goddamn movie. Why? It was almost like they were trolling us. Like,
no, and then what makes
you waited so long.
What makes it great is that they're building up. They're like,
oh yeah,
you've been waiting 14 years.
So here it is. The Incredibles 2.
They played a short,
and now a short film. Bow, and I'm just like, you motherfucker. And then that, oh my god.
Oh, we'll get to that in the spoiler corner.
Oh yeah, we gotta talk about that. I swear, there's a scene in this short, and there's a couple scenes in this short, and I'm like, it finally happened. Pixar's lost its fucking mind.
We thought they just went nuts.
I'm just like, it was so bizarre for a second that I thought basically it was The Incredibles 2 was going to be Samuel Jackson screaming at us for 2 hours. Like, this is some weird postmodern experimental artsy thing. Like,
so we'll get to that in the spoiler corner.
But yeah, that just annoyed the hell out of me. I'm like, just show me the movie!
Well, I was waiting for it.
Fucking movie!
I was waiting for it to justify why it was there. Like, it's gonna segue into, so please don't pirate this movie.
Oh, I know. I thought for a second it was gonna be like,
they were gonna do.
Piracy kills. It nearly killed me.
That's what I thought they were gonna do, but no, they're just saying, like, we know it took a while, sorry, and it's like, what? Was anyone waiting for that or expecting that?
I would have had a longer career outside of Coach if it weren't for pirates.
Why are you making us wait?
I wasn't even like thinking about it or bitching about it in my head until they brought it up. And then I was just like, well, if you keep telling me how long we were waiting for it, and now you're making me wait an extra 5 minutes and you're damn well straight I'm gonna complain about it.
So yeah, the action is wonderful, the jokes are wonderful, the characters, like you say, you identify with all of them. Yeah. They work wonderfully off each other. I love seeing them interact off each other. And you know,
they really feel like a real family.
Yeah, and for a plot that almost feels like a step backwards, because literally it takes place right after the first one,
plot-wise, it is a step back.
You know, but that's
right down to the fact that we're just like, oh, the plot's about getting superheroes to be legal again. Wouldn't you think that was kind of the whole point of the first one?
Yeah,
that we're getting superheroes back.
Even at the beginning, they're like, oh, well, so we're back to where we started, and it's like, I hate that stuff, but they make it so interesting. Yeah. And they just really, really work with it.
Brad Bird, man.
And like I said, all I was thinking the whole time going into this was like, all I'm going to be thinking is I want to see them older. You know, I just want to see them grown up. And
I got over that probably 10 minutes in. And
like I'm immediately in. I was just like, I love seeing them work off each other.
I will warn you now, if any of you are like one of those types that flashing lights gives you seizures or something, don't see this movie.
Yeah, this movie is literally...
I don't have that problem at all.
Yeah, that was
like, flashing lights don't bother me, and I'm just like, I am getting a migraine. Like, just, oh, God.
Yeah, the villain in this uses, like, flashing lights.
Particularly don't see it in IMAX, because that just envelops you.
But I will say, would you say, if that doesn't bother people, would you say see it in IMAX? I say yes.
I guess.
The colors are so vibrant, and there's enough sort of big city shots and her on the motorcycle and stuff like that, where I'm kind of like, I'd say yes.
I would, like...
It's not essential, but
I enjoyed Deadpool 2 a lot. I don't feel like I needed to see that in IMAX. Like, I feel like, that monorail chase is really cool.
Yeah, I feel like there's enough.
I think, I don't think you're wasting your money seeing it in IMAX.
Yeah.
But I think you could also see it on a smaller screen and still like it just fine.
Yeah, it's not essential to see it that way, but it's a very nice, but it's worth the money, as you put. So, yeah, I greatly enjoyed this. I mean, the only problems I have are pretty much just around the villain. And even then, I'm not, like, angry, per se. It's just one of those where it's like this again.
this is a classic case of how really good execution can save just a blah story. And like a blah, because if you took like, and literally like the trailer did nothing for me. If you told me this plot word for word, I honestly would be like, this just doesn't sound like really 14 years of this, guys. Like, seriously. But they executed. I gotta give it. I mean, well, the cast is great too, but and the animators are always good. But I gotta give it to Brad Bird. There's just something about it. The same thing he did with the Mission Impossible series, which was one that I just thought, well, this is just done and dead. Not even Brad Bird can save this now. And I'm just like, oh, Brad Bird totally saved it.
Yeah.
Now we're on Mission Impossible 12, Ghost Recon Protocol Rogue Nation, Tom Cruise hanging from something.
I so hope that's the title of the next one after Fallout.
That's just the title of all of them.
Tom Cruise hangs from something.
It's Tom Cruise gritting his teeth and hanging from something. You gotta do Kittredge, you've never seen me very upset.
Yeah, that, to his credit, that dude's got balls, man. Whenever I see him doing a stunt, it's like, because before it's like, I'll still make fun of him a little bit, but it's one of those things where it's like, dude, I ain't hanging myself out a window or a helicopter or whatever.
I will always make fun of Tom Cruise, but I also am just like...
That dude's got more balls than I do.
I'm like, I have no problem making fun of him, but I don't make fun of him for the stunts he does, because I'm just like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, no.
Hanging off the plane was still my favorite. I'm just like, and I'm just like, oh, well, that's got to be CGI effect. I'm reading up, and it was like, no, they really attached him to a plane. I'm like, there would have been a long trail of shit flying through the air if I was hanging off that thing.
And like, he has to make a joke on there too. It's like, you want me to be funny on this goddamn thing, and he does it great. But blah 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 blah. Really good movie, highly recommended. I like it more than the first. Again, I feel like I'm probably going to be a minority on that.
I'm not going to be able to like, it's going to be like the first one. I'm not going to be able to really judge this till probably years from now. And I feel like most people won't be able to either. Like, I'd say 5 years from now, it's either going to have the reputation. It's like, oh yeah, it's so much better than the first, or it was pretty good. Like, it was all right, but because
I just love you got
all
to see
of his
more
movies
of them.
are like.
You just got to see more of them. You got to see more of the characters. I mean, that was, I think, the strongest part of the first film was the characters, and this one just gives you so much more of them working off each other. And it's good job, man.
Yeah,
good job.
And strangely enough, and maybe it's because the plot to this one I think is a little weaker. It's definitely more character driven. I think.
Yeah.
Because it's not really plot driven. The plot's set pretty much the first 10, 15 minutes in. It's like, well, here's your plot. And you can figure out exactly where it's going. It's not hard.
Yeah. Honestly, if you ever go to like a sitcom level, it's like essentially Mr. Mom.
Oh, yeah.
You know what
I like, though? And this is a trope I get so sick of. It's like, the stupid dad who doesn't know how to take care of the kids and this and that. It's a trope I get so sick of. They really did not push that as hard as they could have. And it really was like, they weren't making him look like he's an idiot.
No.
They were honestly making it look like he is... I mean, he's got a daughter who's going into adolescence, who's become invisible, who's trying to date. He's got a son that...
He has a problem that he started with her.
Math, and then the baby is like... The baby just... It's got 1,001 superpowers. So I'm just like,
it's not something where he's a dumbass. No, it's something where it's very relatable. It's that, and this is all stuff that I feel like any parent can look at and be at. Yes,
and the lack of sleep, and the bastard tries. He's like working his. It's like I'm just like, okay, this was not a lazy trope, and I thought it was gonna be based on the trailer.
I thought it was too.
Oh my god! I'm just like, no, like I like
too much lavender in the washing machine. Bubbles, like there's none of that. It is a legit.
I like how he's trying really hard,
and you know where he's coming from. But again, I mean, it's just the dynamic of why the daughter's this way, why the father's this way, and they just have to work with it.
You talk about like, and that's what makes it work too, because it's Elastigirl who gets the job, and she's doing it for her family, and it's just, I don't know. I feel like they're both parents just trying to do what's right. And to help their family out and raise their family. So there's a role reversal where she gets the job and he stays at home. And like, they learn things, but it's not like one of those like, he's so stupid, like he can't even, do simple things. It's like, no human being could take care of these 3 kids.
Yeah. very good movie. Highly recommend it. In terms of taking your kids, you can. It's
I
kind
love
of
that one kid who was crying as it got darker.
Yeah, it's kind of on par with the first one, though, where it's like
Gets
there is
darker.
a lot. Well, no, but there is also a lot of talking and sort of sitting around. It is kind of more the adult, of the Pixar films in terms of like what they do. But there is superhero stuff too, and there is a lot of fun. But yeah, if your kid likes the first one, they'll probably like the second one fine.
I'd say it's an older kid movie.
Yeah.
This is for ages, 8 through,
Yeah, but we saw people bring
honestly,
like their
ages 8
4-year-olds
and
and stuff.
like,
Yeah, we saw people bring the 4-year-olds, and they were antsy, and they were talking, they were kind of crying.
My favorite, Elastigirl like sneaks through this door, and it's dark inside. And like it's like this secret hideout with like all of these computer screens and stuff, and like this 5-year-old just like shouts out, "That's no ordinary closet!"
Oh, is that what she said? I didn't hear what she said.
I'm like, well done, small child.
So yeah, I'm with you. About 8 and up feels right. It earns the PG rating. It's very warranted.
Yeah. No, again,
it's not like
it's not like super dark.
It's
but
not a G movie
for
that
a
they just
small
put
kid.
a P in front
It gets a little like scary.
Yeah, PG I think is a good rating.
Yeah. So there's a lot of like characters that get hypnatized, and so they got these weird
and kill. They still kill off.
Yeah.
Quite a few characters do.
So that scene was spooky.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, this is actually awkward and uncomfortable.
So
come with us.
Yeah. So again, just good job, man. Go see it. It was worth the wait. I think it was definitely worth the wait. So that's it. We'll see you next time. Later.